Welcome to our next episode in our Aeon Trespass playthrough. We are in Cycle 2. We are on day 28, and I was starting to get into some nice little story bits of adventuring when I was not recording, and I thought, there's a lot of things coming up. Let's go ahead and start recording again. And I thought actually this would be a good time to do a bit of a story recap as well, since we're about a third of the way into the timeline for this cycle, or a little bit further than a third of the way. Let's go to our full map view here. So if you notice, I have rotated the map 90 degrees. So previously we were trying to go northwards this direction in order to get deeper into the land of Lakonia. I've rotated it because we're now trying to go eastwards into the land of Lakonia. It just makes it easier for me to manage the map. I think we've kind of figured out the limits of one dimension of our map, so I think we're pretty constrained in this dimension, and now we're just trying to figure out how far out we can go this way, so easier for me to expand out this way. But let's take a little bit of time to talk about what has happened in Cycle 2 so far. The story is not as convoluted, I'd say, as Cycle 1. I think it's a little bit more straightforward in this cycle, but after our adventures in Crete during Cycle 1, we got this summons, this letter from this figure, the Nietzschean, basically saying like, hey, I have witnessed what you've done in Crete. I know you've slain the Mnemos. Come to Lakonia and see the true way of the world. And he sends along with that letter basically some little baubles, some items from the Argo, and basically kind of flaunting the fact that, like, yeah, he knows things about the Argo and the Argonauts. So we kind of followed up on this, basically thinking like, all right, let's go check this out and let's see what information we can get from the Nietzschean. What does he know? So we come to Lakonia, and when we arrive, we are greeted by a welcoming party of soldiers, ships, and the Nietzschean himself. He continues to demonstrate that he has knowledge of the ship, even talking about things like the Argonaut Mausoleum, where the Argonauts are awakened from their sleepless sleep and laid back to rest. His way of thinking is also made very clear in how he thinks the world should operate. Only the strong survive, and the strong must cull the weak. He raises a challenge to us, saying that we must journey to his fortress deep in the lands of Lakonia and face him in combat to prove our strength. And for every day that passes until we reach him, he will kill more and more innocent people. He makes his point by slaughtering a bunch of soldiers on board the Argo. And when we try to retaliate and stop him, our strongest Argonaut, Anacreon, went in for a counterattack, and the Nietzschean is just slightly faster, grabs him by the throat and crushes his neck, killing Anacreon on the spot, who was with us from the beginning of Cycle 1. So we awaken a new Argonaut, Hypatia, down there in the bottom left corner. And the Nietzschean just continues to peacock his power. He even goes and summons this massive ambrosia-covered smoke, like coated in smoke, some flames coming out of him, this giant skull-faced being. We don't really know what it is other than a giant, massive, powerful figure. A primordial? Not sure. But he summons this thing and shows that he has complete control over it, and uses it to start attacking our ship, damaging our ship a bit in the process. Our Argonauts junction into the Titans and barely manage to demonstrate enough power to convince the Nietzschean to leave us alone for the time being. So we kind of slink back a bit with our tail between our legs, really just getting our butts handed to us there. And we proceed to go around the land of Lakonia and explore a bit. And we find many people who are suffering. We see the helots, who are slaves to the stronger warriors of Sparta, working in mines and fields and just demonstrating that they are these weaker people who cannot fend for themselves. And they're, in the Nietzschean's eyes, just a lesser group of people. There are the Cyclops who are in hiding and are desperate to avoid capture for fear of being turned into yet another weapon of the Nietzschean's army, a Cyclonus, which is a primordial that we have fought. The Cyclops have been a very powerful people in the past and have demonstrated the ability to create great weapons, and they're massive and they have great strength, but they have basically taken to this pact of peace because they don't want to go on this war-torn path to bloodshed that their ancestors have done in the past. And so the Nietzschean is turning them into these monsters that are fighting for him, and sometimes convincing them that this is their recompense. This is what they need to do to make up for the sins of their ancestors, is basically be turned into these like killing machines who are just in incredible pain constantly. Then there are the Simici, who are a military group of Athens who tried to preempt a war with Sparta by attacking the Nietzschean before he grew to full power. And now they are, that plan did not go very well, and they're now struggling to regain a foothold in the region. But the people of Lakonia need the help of the Argonauts to be free of the Nietzschean's iron fist. So we decide we're going to help them. We are going to take the Nietzschean up on his challenge, not to demonstrate our power, but to free the people from his tyranny. We recently infiltrated a sluice gate in this first cataract, so we're trying to progress inwards into the land of Lakonia. We got through this first sluice gate to allow us to go up in the waterways and start to go into these lands that are a bit higher in elevation. We had the help of a defector of the Spartan army to help us control the sluice gate. And now we're trying to just build these rebel forces in Lakonia. We're trying to win over the hearts of the Helots, the Cyclops, the Simici, and try to unite everybody so that even if we may not individually be as strong as or stronger than the Nietzschean, maybe together we can do something to stop him. So that's the overall summary. Since our last adventure video, not a lot has happened. I think the one thing that I noted down, let's see, we are on, what day did I say we were on here? We're on day 28 right now. On day 23, we had an adventure for the Intended Purposes Hub, and we were seeking this Cyclops camp, but as we're looking for it, we're going through the woods and we notice these thick black fumes that are filling the area. And then we see this deer that just looks dilapidated. Like it is just, its skin, its flesh, its fur is all just falling off, and it's a really sad and pathetic sight. And then we start to realize, okay, we need to get out of here because the smoke is these fumes are what's doing this. So we have this choice of we get out, we escape to some fresh air, and then we learn that it is essentially the Spartan army testing some new kind of weapon that the Nietzschean is going to use. Olympia decides that we are, Olympia being one of our Argonauts here, decides that no, we have this choice of we can either go after these Spartans and try to destroy this weapon or capture this weapon, or we can help the Cyclops. Olympia becomes consumed by rage, both literally in the text, but also she has the consumed by rage affliction, as does Telebachus now. But we end up deciding that we are going to help the Cyclops get out of there, and we had to mark something off on our decision matrix to basically say, let's see if I can remember which choice that was. Was it L3? Yes, helped Cyclops escape ambrosia fumes, and Spartans escaped with weapon under test. So I don't know if that's going to be a good choice, like a good thing to have on our matrix here because, hey, we helped the Cyclops escape, or is it going to be a negative thing where it's like, hey, you let the Spartans escape with this weapon under test, it's going to come back to bite you. So we shall see at some point in the story, hopefully, what is to become of that. Let me take these lights up a bit brighter again. Nope, not those lights. I do that every single time. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. And now our dice pool looks normal again. But where I was at on day 28 is that we were about to resolve an adventure hub. I rolled a 10, and on story card 2, that means that we get to do the Parable of the Butterfly adventure. So we are going to do that. And we have the trait Supernatural. And I think that means that, yes, we are going to have an Argonaut retire soon. So there's going to be a lot happening in this video in terms of some story things. We're going to go through all of Telebachus's Siren Survivor story to see like why, like what memories does he have and what is going to be his future on the Argo or not on the Argo. Let's see, Supernatural, no, nope. And, ooh, Death Precedes, M15. Oh, what was Anacreon's number? And we need to get, that's Death Precedes, unlock the third ability for that, which says at the start of battle, we can place 3 opening tokens, 2 break tokens, or 1 rouse token in the Kratos pool. That's really nice. So M15 we need to add to our timeline, and M23. Okay, added. Let's see, where were we at? Go back to our adventure. We already marked it off. Parable of the Butterfly. Okay, now let's go to our story here and begin our reading.
You marvel at the size of the stronghold towering in the distance, dancing precariously on the edge of the canal. It's old, ancient even. Entire walls have been rearranged. Giant statues, presumably of the Nietzschean, have been erected. But it isn't enough to hide the original design of the place. Your source warned you that many Spartan units are trained here. From foot soldiers to deadly Thanporos. You will have to be careful.
So, is it true then?
One of your crew asks.
The Nietzschean really did first appear here?
Allegedly. He emerged from a chrysalis, they say. The party leader says.
What is he? A butterfly?
The laughter is cut short when you notice the people strung up on the canal walls, presumably punished for crimes against the Nietzschean. There are dozens, maybe hundreds of them, some no more than husks shriveled by the pitiless sun. You give a short speech to remind everyone why you are here, and then you moor to the base of the canal wall, where your informant said you'll find a secret passage into the fortress. Sure enough, it's there, well hidden from passing triremes. However, a recent earthquake has collapsed it, and now the tunnel is dangerously small, barely fit for Titans.
Okay, so we have 2 options here. Option 1, we can choose the passage is too narrow, and any further collapse would trap your Titans under millions of tons of earth and stone. If you split your team in 2, there will be less risk of being discovered. Follow the passage while the Titans scale the canal wall. Option 2, climbing up the vertical canal wall will leave your Titans exposed to patrols and death dealers, and if it comes to a fight, sticking together is your best bet. Well, if I were just going off of metagaming, option 2 seems like we might lose a Titan. I don't know what the penalty for option 1 would be. Like, yeah, just pure metagaming, I would consider just going with option 2 just because we could afford to lose a Titan. I don't know what option 1 is going to be, but like, I do think it is good to try to stay under the radar. So let's see if we can do that. We'll split up into, oh wait a second. Oh, wait, I think I misunderstood. It sounds like the Titans are going up the wall regardless. So now the question is, do we want to go with them or not? Yeah, I mean, I'll just go with them. I'd rather stay grouped together with them than try to split up. So yeah, actually, I'm going to go with option 2.
You look up at the canal wall, enthralled by its size. It's going to be a rough climb. Even with the special transport pauldrons the Argo Works was wise to equip your Titans with. It's an arduous trek up. Every once in a while, something catches your attention. A carved column here, a remnant of a giant bulwark there. More traces of the transformation this place has undergone. Halfway up, you run into a Thanporos patrol. The giant killers zip through the air around you on their Hermes gear, hacking at the Titans' backs with little coordination. This creates an opening you are quick to capitalize on, and the fight ends before it has really begun. Only when you inspect the dead Spartans, hanging lifelessly from their cables like abandoned marionettes, do you realize these are just trainees, barely adolescents. And still, you do not come out of it without losses. You are brutally reminded these soldiers shouldn't be underestimated, and it makes you wonder why they didn't sound the alarm or retreat when it was clear they couldn't win. Were they so desperate to prove themselves, to achieve the fabled strength? Or were they too proud to admit their weakness?
Well, okay, so we got the guess right on the loss of a Titan here, but I'm kind of, if maybe I just didn't understand the first passages, because like if we were going to lose a Titan anyway, or if the Titans were going to have to scale the walls, wouldn't we have lost a Titan that way anyway? We could gain 2 Argo Fate instead if we wanted to. I don't think I want to do that though. So we only have 1 Argo Fate. We're about to be fighting the Burden, but I'm trying to use Argo Fate to keep him away. Whereas we are pretty good on Titans right now, so I'm sorry. Rest in peace, poor Titan.
You resume your climb, hoping the enemy hasn't noticed your presence yet. You eventually arrive at the top of the canal wall and move into a tunnel at the base of the fortress, one that opens up into a courtyard.
All right. C0003.
Three dozen Spartans train with short blades, their grunts echoing off the fortifications. Their precise movements make you gulp. On the other side of the courtyard, among tall, tower-like structures, a wild Titan is locked in a deadly cat-and-mouse game with a squad of death dealers. You planned to leave your Titans at the walls as an insurance policy, their size getting in the way during an infiltration. But now you worry the Thanporos might find them before you return. You survey your entry points, tall corridors leading further into the fortress, and you realize this place was originally built with giants in mind. You look up at your Titans, covered head to toe in the tatters of sail camo. Although not as bulky as Cyclopes, they could certainly pass for them, especially if they're made to carry heavy loads, like those giant stone blocks used to renovate the fortress's walls. Could it be so simple? Yes, it is. As you enter the fortress in stolen Spartan gear, with your Titans in tow, hidden in plain sight, nobody stops you. Nobody even turns an eye. It seems that even the largest of slaves became invisible to their masters. After what seems like an Aeon of fruitless search, you reach a large room where a few dozen children are training. They pounce on each other, intense looks on their innocent faces. You notice bruises on their little bodies and hardened muscles that haven't had time to grow properly. The smaller ones bear the biggest scars.
Weakling!
One yells, gripping the fabric of his opponent's worn shirt.
We don't want you! Fight or die!
His tiny fist lands on his opponent's jaw. There are no other Spartans around, but that could change quickly.
We got two options here. Number one, these children should be with their families, living peaceful childhoods instead of becoming soldiers. You could take them away from here, save them from a dark fate, but it won't be easy and it won't help your search. Rescue the children, Helots diplomacy +1. Option 2. You hate seeing children suffer like this, but intervening here is too risky, to them and to you. If you want to stop this war and prevent others from ending up like this, you need to focus on your mission. Leave the children and continue with your mission. Lose 1 humanity, gain 1 progress token. I get number 2. I am kind of nervous about like what is going to be the cost of trying to save this kid or these kids. I mean, because even if we rescue them, it's not like, I don't know. I mean, some of them might be so set in the mindset already that like, are they just going to pretend, like, see this is an opportunity to pretend to be in, like, going along with the Argo ways and everything, but they're actually just going to act as spies? I don't know. I don't really know how old these kids are. It sounds like they're pretty young, so maybe that's taking a little bit of reach. Regardless, I just don't think I want to, like, lose the humanity. We can get progress tokens other ways. Let's rescue the kids. Let's see what we can do to help here. So we'll do Helots diplomacy +1. Boom. Go back to this. C0004.
You step out of the shadows with your hands outstretched, and the children immediately assume defensive stances. They do not scream or cry for help, but instead measure your mettle and assess their chances. You can feel the tension rise in the air. Now is the time to act.
Okay, so let's see who has the most wisdom here, because we have to do a wisdom test of 12 or more. Argonauts. 0, 1, 2. Olympia. Seems like you're our winner. Let's make you our party leader. And then each Argonaut may gain up to 2 fate to add up to +2. Failure result is, we get a captive, we lose a crew, and party leader becomes consumed by rage. If they already have it, they gain a hatred condition card instead. I'd like to avoid that. Oh, if we succeed though, we get 2 refugees. That's a lot of refugees. We do have we had the one, what's it called? Negotiation technology that allows us to reduce the number of refugees, but we also have another one as well. I'm just double checking to make sure that is the one that I picked. And make sure I know exactly what it does. Not that. Recruitment drive, is that it? Refugee enrollment. Yeah, gain 1 Argo fate to test diplomacy of 7 or higher. Success, you may lose 1 refugee to gain 1 crew. Okay. So refugees are good and bad. By gaining 2 refugees, though, we're immediately going to lose a crew. Ooh. One Argonaut can reset their rage, lose the consumed. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my failure response is I would lose a crew too, so we want to succeed at this. Let's say that the Orphan will gain 1 fate. We don't want to give her too much because she's often a tank. Let's have Hypatia gain 2 fate. Let's have Telebachus gain 2 fate. I'm pretty high in fate. How far am I from another battle? I mean, what's his name? The burden is going to be catching up to me quick. I'll probably, yeah, I'll have a couple of battles coming up. So let's see, that'd be +2, +4, +5. We could do at least one more here, +6 from Olympia, plus another 2. So she would just need a 4 or higher. Yeah, let's do that. Let's stick to what we have here. We need the green die. She needs a 4 or higher. Ooh, that's a 2. It's fate reroll. It's a 5. Nice. All right, so we pass. Word by word, the children listen intently. Their surprise turns into confusion. Some sigh in relief, others cry, but quickly wipe their tears in shame. You promise yourselves to show them that there is strength in weakness and compassion. Many seem to only now remember their families, and longing cries of home erupt as you lead them all out of the room. Gain 2 refugees. Do that first. Ooh, lose a crew there. 1 Argonaut can reset their rage. Nothing to do there. Lose the consumed by rage affliction. I will definitely remove that from Olympia. Telebachus doesn't need to because he's about to retire at the end of this. I think I also made a note of that in here. Yeah, let's clear that. Okay, then next, at the start of the next battle, place 2 rouse tokens in the Kratos pool. All right, let me just take those and put them back here. Regardless of the result, one of the boys, Effie, clings to you. Mark D4. We saved, we convinced children to come with us aboard the Argo. One of them, Effie, is clinging to us. I don't think it's specifically to Olympia, but maybe it should be. C14.
The hour grows late. Any second, someone could raise the alarm. Every turn of a corner could mean a skirmish with a Spartan patrol. The junction is starting to wear on the Titans. The tension is slowly killing you. You need to get out. Yet you cling to hope. Maybe you'll find what you're looking for in that next room. You come to a seemingly abandoned chamber. There are very few Spartans in the area, as if they are avoiding this place. When you enter, you feel shivers run down your spines. There is an eerie coldness here, an aura of inevitability. The place is empty except for an enormous object in the very center, oblong and porous, jet black and imposing. As you come closer, you discern the shape of a cocoon. No, a chrysalis. It's caked in some dark substance that looks like dried ambrosia, but is hard and coarse. You are reminded of the skin of the monstrous being the Nietzschean has at his beck and call, his skull-faced shadow. Could this really be how it came into this world? As you ponder the discovery, the party leader reaches out to touch the chrysalis, almost instinctively.
We have 2 options. Option 1, it could be worth examining the chrysalis, but it's risky. As you have seen how toxic ambrosia can be, let them touch the chrysalis. Option 2, you shouldn't meddle with things you don't understand. It's safer to leave it be. You've learned enough. If the Nietzschean truly emerged from this, then it's bad news. Don't let anyone touch the chrysalis. I mean, have we looked at it thoroughly? I don't know. It just seems like the second we see it, it's like, I want to touch it. No, don't touch it. What are we going to gain from touching it? Maybe we get some like tokens in the pool for a Nietzschean battle? Our next battle, maybe? I don't know. It's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it. Option 2, we're gonna just let it be. Olympia don't need no crazy stuff on her.
The sudden grunt of one of your titans makes you whip around. A man stands in the doorway. He has a giant, muscular frame with piercing blue eyes and flowing blonde hair, and exudes confidence and raw strength.
They say that after we're born, we spend the rest of our lives trying to crawl back up into our mother's wombs.
The Nietzschean says with a soft smile.
That is why orphans make for the strongest warriors, and why my mother had to die.
Immediately you pull out your weapons, but something holds you back. The memory of your fallen brothers and sisters, massacred with impunity by the man in front of you, is still fresh in your minds. It was child's play for him then. You have titans now. Will it make a difference?
Weighing your chances. You are learning.
The Nietzschean gushes.
Not yet, no. You are welcome to try. You know how it went last time.
You will pay for what you have done.
One of you screams in helpless fury.
Good, good. Struggle like I have. That thing back there.
He joins his hands behind his back and paces, utterly unbothered by the towering titans growling next to you.
I may have crawled out of a woman, but I was born there.
You look back at the large, empty cocoon.
I was brought to King Leonidas as a curiosity, left to rot in that cage, dead to the world.
The Nietzschean's words spur something inside one of you. A fleeting memory and a deep feeling of abandonment and hopelessness. The cold breath of death whispering in your ear.
Ooh. So the Nietzschean at some point was put into that cocoon or that chrysalis, or and then was basically just brought. I guess King Leonidas was, I don't really know my ancient Greek history. I guess he was the ruler of Sparta before the Nietzschean decided it was his turn. We're going to get least likely Argonaut gains the Left 4 Dead Mnemos card. Grab that. Left 4 Dead. Wait, what? Or these ones? Oh, those ones are my. What's it called? Mnemos Vault. Left 4 Dead. I narrowly avoided sneezing into the microphone. Here we go. Just do a quick look at this. When you survive an obol, lose up to 3 danger and 2 fate. When you're about to die from an instant death effect, draw an obol instead. If you are the last Titan alive, you cannot suffer knockdown, and your Titan's power die becomes a black power die. It's pretty good, especially if you pair this with Logic Breaker. That could be pretty nice. So that will go into our Mnemos Vault, since all of our Argonauts have all of their Mnemoses. Let's see. Then we will gain 1 progress token. I mean, we could put that on. I haven't really been reading a lot of Inwards Odysseys. We'll get to that point. Like I think we're going to need to get a lot of progress tokens on this, because the story card says, oh, get to 6 and then continue adding some as you flip over to the next side. So let's just add that there.
The Nietzschean stops pacing and throws his arms open.
I struggled to break free, to live. The pain was maddening, but I emerged from the chrysalis, beautiful and reborn, stronger than any man, king or god.
His booming voice echoes in the room.
There is no strength without pain. Those who fail to break out should simply wither away. So tell me, Argonauts, do you think you have what it takes to bring me down? Or should we go straight to the suffering?
Saved another sneeze. Option 1. You are stronger than the last time you faced him and better equipped. You know his tricks and he doesn't have the element of surprise this time. You have Titans. Will you ever get this opportunity again? To end this war here and now? Accept his challenge. Fight him. Lose one crew. Option 2. If you have faced him before, or you have faced him before, you know what he is capable of. You might have gotten stronger, but you are still no match for him, especially if he summons his skull-faced form. It's better to retreat now, spare your Titans and crew, and face him in another day, with your allies by your side. Don't fight him, retreat. We already lost a crew because we had to gain refugees earlier. We're at 3 crew. There's no way you're going to tell me that I'm going to go down to 2 crew just to get my butt handed to me by this guy again. Absolutely not. We're doing option 2. That is, wait, I almost clicked the wrong option. We need to go to 18. Oh, what the heck? This time they're not in the right order, but they're also not in numerical order. So you almost tricked me. Almost.
You sound the retreat, much to the Nietzschean's amusement. The brutal deaths of your crew, your friends, on board the Argo, haunt you to this day. You will not make the same mistake twice. You won't face him on his terms. You are surprised to see he doesn't pursue you.
Run, little runts! Crawl into the Argo's womb for all the good it will do you. When the time comes, I will rip you out of it, bring you screaming into my world!
Another shiver runs down your spine.
Gain 1 doom. We want to try to save against this. Yeah, we're probably gonna have a couple of battles coming up. I think we can afford to try to save here. Let's take this out. We're gonna gain an Argo Fate. And we're gonna roll our D10. We need an 8 or higher. A 10! Nice! We are saving against doom. That is lovely.
The way back through the fortress is a blur of flashing swords and spilled blood. And you don't stop shaking, even once you're safely aboard the Argo. The old priest consoles you.
You did good retreating. There is no sense or strength in fighting lost battles. The Nietzschean revealed his weakness today. Arrogance, pride. You need to devise a strategy that makes use of this fallibility.
You watch the stronghold as the Argo sails away.
All right, return to the voyage phase. Well, I'm happy with our choices that we made there. Let's see, we are past the expedition step now. That'll take us into the advancement step. We have a structural research we can do today. Projects. I feel like I was going for 1. Oh, was I? I wanted to try to get this wartime protocols. So what do we need next? War propylon. Oh, we don't even have war propylon that we can get yet. What? Oh, war recruitment leads to war propylon. But we need to be friendly with somebody. We are just below friendly with everybody. Okay, next time we'll get that. What could we do instead here? Nah. Remove. Do I have one in the exploration discard pile? I think I only have that one that is in the discard pile. The purpose of sabotage. Oh, that would be good. Not in a rush to get that though. I'm not backtracking a lot. Don't care that much about trading. Lose hull during the voyage adventure. 9 minus the refugees I have. What's our hull at right now? 3. Maybe. What does it lead to? Recruitment programs. Wait, do I already have that technology? Recruitment programs? Yeah. Refugee route. Weird. Okay. Gain the second cataract fortification line. You can move through locked waterways with the second cataract symbol. Oh, we need to be on story 3A for that. So we're on story 2. We could let's just get Titan. I keep talking about Titan breeding. Let's just get it. That would allow us to get Grand Stella at some point. Okay. We could try to do that. What was it? Gain an Argo Fate. Programs. Gain 1 Argo Fate to test diplomacy of 7 or higher. Success, you may lose 1 refugee to gain 1 crew. Yeah. Yeah, I guess let's do it now. We would have to roll a 7 or higher. Bring us up to 3 Argo Fate. Yeah, I think it's worth trying. I think so. All right, so we are going to gain an Argo Fate. And we need to roll 7 or higher. That's a 6. I'm not going to re-roll that, I don't think. I'll wait until maybe I have... Because if I get 1 more diplomacy with any faction, then I'll be friendly and it'll give me a +1 diplomacy bonus, so... Let's not rush it. Next, we can go into our Mnemoses. Okay, so there's going to be a number of things we're going to read. Let's do M23 first, because that is for Orphan. This is not her final one, so let's do her first, and then we'll go to Telebachus, and we'll do his whole set of Siren Survivor story. So Death Precedes is a cycle 2. Mnemos Breakthrough. We need M15, right? Okay, yeah, M15 and the M23 was for, that one's for Siren Survivor, okay.
The memory is more vivid now. Enemies close in, fists clenched as they snarl threats and glower at you, their intention clear. You lose count of how many there are. As the red mist begins to cloud your vision, it really matters not. You slip into the flow, the animalistic drive of survival and dominance pushing you, guiding your hand as you lash out at any and all who dare approach. Fists connect with flesh and bone, meaty smacks and hollow snappings singing a song of violence and glory. You feel a flood of warmth in your mouth as your gnashing teeth split your tongue. Barely a thought is given as you hurl yourself wholly into the bloodshed. It is an old, familiar dance. A series of steps you know by instinct and will retrace without hesitation. Finally, the last one falls, and you stand victorious, the wind whipping at you as it carries the scent of the dead. You raise your head to the skies, feeling the swell of triumph in your muscles as your pulse slows. The veil of blood falls away, until you realize that you do not stand over a battlefield, but in a taverna. Destroyed chairs and tables interspersed with comatose patrons and more than a few cooling carcasses. Those alive and conscious stare at you in horror, abject fear and revulsion in their faces. You can already hear the distant sounds of the city guard approaching. Formion's features twist in a horrified expression, his eyes hollow as he looks at you.
Those damn fools.
You curse. If only they'd had the sense to back down and submit instead of picking a fight. You had to respond, to show them their place, their weakness, right? Right?
The Orphan will gain 2 rage. And now we will go to Telebachus. Let's see. Mnemos breakthroughs, C1. And that was 23. Oh, wait, nope, sorry. I need to start at the beginning. Let me know if you don't end up liking this format, or if I should just I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about how I want to be doing these, but I kind of like this. We read them as we go along, and then we do all of them at the end. But if you have better ideas, or you find it more annoying than anything, then let me know. But we need to first go to so it's M3, then M13, then M23. Go back. I'm frozen here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to restart the app. Okay, here we go.
The dream is more vivid now. You're lying on the beach, your soaking wet clothes slowly drying in the morning sun. The seagulls pass above you like glaciers. The strait was said to be dangerous, visited by sirens, but you were pressed for time. And where has it gotten you? You wince and you feel your dried lips cracking. All your compatriots are gone now. The sirens are gone too, but you can still smell their salty musk. See the spiral pattern of their giant shells. Feel their soft touch on your sunburned cheek. If you could, you would lie here for an eternity. To move is to accept that you've survived. How did you manage to escape? Why did you survive? And then it hits you. They let you go. As one was about to seal your fate with a salty kiss, your ears swelling up with blood, she looked deep into your eyes and said with a silky yet distraught voice,
Now, dear Spiral, not enough.
You lost consciousness after that, and now you have to live with it for the rest of your days. Another flock of seagulls comes into view. Their squawks make your wounded ears ring. A crab nibbles at your foot with its tiny claw. It would be easy for you to lie here and wait for the end, but you survived. And a survivor has an obligation to keep going. So you will move forward. You will seek them out and make them pay, for the sake of your crew and your own. The memory is more vivid now. As you scramble from the cold water onto dry land, a familiar, calming feeling washes over you. You survived, again, among the hardened veterans of the war trireme, each and every one of them fighting tooth and nail. You are the only one who made it out alive. But as you lie there, your soaking wet clothes slowly drying in the morning sun, seagulls passing above you like glaciers, a sense of déjà vu slinks in. You're back where you began, a lone survivor. You feel that pull again, just to stay here until death takes you, when you suddenly realize you've taken one down. Just as she leaned in, you stabbed her with a serrated spear. A spear that had a rope tied to it. Then the ship ran aground and you force yourself to stand up. The wreckage of your trireme's bow juts horizontally from the sandy beach. You climb onto the figurehead and find the rope still tied to the deck. You pull it. Resistance. There's something at the other end. Once, twice, thrice. Heavier than you'd imagine. Finally, you manage to drag it from the depths. Half woman, half mollusk. A siren, blue and bleeding, but alive. You heave it onto the beach and draw your Zephos. Monster, tell me. The siren looks around with unseeing eyes. Your blood boils with rage. Tell me, why? Why did you let me live? Twice now.
Ascending. Spiral. Not.
You press the siren for answers and she dies in your arms, but not before revealing a secret. There's a great event coming, and the sirens are gathering to witness it. You will be there also. The truth. You can almost grasp it now. It has been many months since you survived that first encounter, and you are so very tired. You sometimes look back to that day on the beach and wonder how things could have been different had you not pursued the sirens so relentlessly. An artisan's trade left by the wayside, a love interrupted, a child unborn. So many people left behind, a life unfinished. And what did you get in return? Calloused hands and a scarred back? Sleepless nights and a waking life full of nightmares and nightmares slaying. Now you are here on this god-forsaken island of shipwrecks and siren shells. You look at a shattered byreme beached on the sandbar like a wounded whale, and the bones gleaming in the sand. That could have been you. You move inland, from whence a mournful song sounds. There are lone sirens along the way, sentries perhaps, and you dispatch them all with little effort. That much this journey has taught you. You crest a hill and slowly descend into a valley of shells, some as small as an aspis, others the size of triremes. A dozen or so sirens await you at the bottom of the valley. Before you have a chance to speak, one of the sirens says, as if she knows you,
Zenith Spiral, you have survived enough.
"What? Why? This life of misery you've condemned me to. I did not hear the song, and yet I chased you halfway around the world, of my own free will. Why did you let me live?"
So they would remember.
You are dumbfounded.
Have you not learned how to kill a creature twice your size? How to survive on the open sea for days on end? Have you not defied both gods and monsters? You have been shaped like a fine shell, Undeterred, you became the survivor. Zenith Spiral.
They continue.
You have survived enough. We may grant you death now. Or you may grant us death and continue the spiral, but you will not find peace.
We have a couple of options. Option 1, you have survived enough and you deserve to rest. Accept death. Mark A11, gain 1 Argo knowledge and retire your Argonaut. Gain the Medusalem gear card, then activate a new Argonaut. Option 2, no, there must be another reason. You just need to survive a bit longer. Continue the cycle, lose 2 Mnemos nodes from this Mnemos, gain as many Doom as there are faded boxes. Why did I forget what that symbol was? I like to just retire my Argonauts generally when the time comes. So I'm going to do that. We are going to allow Telebachus to retire / die, I guess. So accept death. Mark A11. Argo, choice matrix, A11. Allowed the Sirens to grant death to Telebachus. Retire. No, Telebachus. I know what I said. Putting retire because it's not actually dead, I guess, here. We're just saying that he's retiring. Yeah, Mark A11, gain 1 Argo knowledge. Not Argo Fate. Argo knowledge is way better than Argo Fate. We'll put IO26 here as well. Then gain the Medusalem card, then activate a new Argonaut. Okay, so give me a second. Let me grab that stuff. Be right back. Okay, so goodbye, Telebachus. Oh, there's 2 C's in there. Siren Survivor will be removed. Telebachus is retired. Mark him as retired here. Then here is the gear card that we got for that Medusalem. Again, because we got this, it's a cycle 1 gear, but because we're getting it through a Mnemos in cycle 2, it automatically gets set to the cycle 2 power level. I think I remember that in Discord. I don't know if that's actually in the rule book, but I remember that being talked about in Discord at one point. So while we're thinking about that, let me go to gear, let's add that. All technology, oh, it'd be a secret gear, I think. 2 Medusalem, and then let's go ahead and ascend it as well for free. Ascend gear. Medusalem, ascend without cost. Cool. So the attack stats are mediocre. The black armor die is pretty good. Then it has a exhaust and gain a fate for block 1. And exhaust, gain a fate for when you are about to gain ambrosia tokens, lower this gain to 1. Then it has a crit evade effect as well. So this is a pretty nice shield, especially for getting in cycle 2, where we're going to be dealing with multiple primordials who can give ambrosia. So let's set this aside and figure out who we're going to give this to later. Then we need to take a broken promise here. What was mine? I wasn't sure if that camera was like really lagging or something. The broken promise will go back into our Mnemos vault. Those two get set aside. Got to reset the Triskelion because this is a new Argonaut. And shuffle these. And we're going to draw 2, and whichever we get to pick from one of those. This is a house really like to do just to have like some flexibility in terms of like what I'm getting. All right, so here's the first one, then we'll keep shuffling. Here's the second one. Death Follows is always nice. Mesalliance, when you break a combo, place 1 opening or break token in the Kratos pool. Mesalliance is fine, but also like if, I mean, kind of spoilery comment, but the combos are only really used in cycle 2, so if I don't take this now, there's like, it's just going to be sitting in my Mnemos vault, clogging things up. But not a good enough reason for me to want to take it over Death Follows. I will take Death Follows, and the Argonaut we are awakening from our Argonaut Mausoleum is Leocules. Leocules doesn't know who he was, and he doesn't care a bit. His body remembers the hardships and the struggles of a life fought and won, the violence. He treats his awakening from the mausoleum as an opportunity to become a gentler, more empathetic man, at peace with himself. That's a very fitting background to have going in through cycle 2. Put him there. Welcome Leocules to our crew. Put this back in our Mnemos vault. And put our little blinders on the level 2 and the level 3 abilities of Death Follows. Done. Look at that. Our newest member. Let's now go to that Inwards Odyssey that we had to read, and I'm going to clean some stuff up while that is being read. We have IO 26.
As you submerge in the emerald waters of the Aeon, you feel the familiar pull of the other. You feared it at first, but now, after countless battles fought through the Titans, you find it almost comforting. A symbolic return to the womb, into a grander being, sheltered from all the evils of the world, awesomely powerful.
The hubris,
says a soft, mocking voice you would recognize anywhere. The Nietzschean.
the hypocrisy.
How are you?
Always with the how.
You find yourself completely mute and powerless. You are still in the junction, somewhere between you and your Titan's bodies. An immaterial presence stranded in the dark.
The how is never as important as the why. And the why is plain. I want it, and I will it.
You will be stopped. You muster. The void reverberates with a hollow boom. You realize it's laughter.
Sure. And you intend to do that through your mighty Titans. War machines of blood and bone you conveniently don like a Keton, and discard as easily.
Your mind conjures the image of the handsome man, sneering.
I see the Aeon has been upgraded. The Titans are even more subdued and docile, like lambs. Is that what you tell yourself when you hunt them, rip them from their lives, and mutilate them to serve your whims? And you dare to question my methods? My slaves get to spend their nights with their close ones. Yours are docked in pens.
You want to rebuke his claim, but you find yourself hesitant, suddenly unsure of everything you've taken for granted since that fateful day when you emerged from the mausoleum. The Titans are the violent enemies of mortals. There is plenty of evidence to support that. Yet on more than one occasion, You have witnessed the giants behaving differently. They have no culture and no language, and so you treat them like cattle or pets. But even in the junction itself, you have felt emotions. The Nietzschean laughs again.
I never imagined sowing doubt in you would be so easy. You truly are weak, pitiful excuses for warriors. And without your slaves, you are nothing.
You show your hand, you manage to blurt out, desperately trying to deduce his game.
Do I? The best discord is birthed from the naked truth.
He accentuates every word, clearly taking delicious pleasure in all this.
To me, it matters not whether you continue to use the Titans or not. I will squash you the same in the end. You will either accept my point of view and the crimes you commit each time you violate these poor creatures, or you will reject them and be tormented by guilt and doubt. And I haven't even gotten to the best part. You and the Argo.
His voice suddenly goes silent, and you are yanked back to reality, gasping for breath, more so out of anxiety than exhaustion. You crawl out of the junction pool. A rogue signal pierced the Aeon, one of the sages tending to the Triskelion link says as they help you up. A massive shadow unlike anything we've seen. We were able to isolate and block it, but it took several seconds. Have you experienced anything? You look at them, but words escape you. The Nietzschean clearly wanted to mess with your heads and weaken your conviction. But there was a hint of truth in there. A seed of doubt.
I want to know what he was going to say. All right, we're going to unlock the Pygmalion track on your Argo sheet. From now on, whenever an Argo-bred Titan dies, mark one space on this track. Every third space is marked with the Pygmalion stone symbol. Once you mark it, you gain a Pygmalion stone divine resource. A Pygmalion stone may be used after a battle to save a chosen Titan that died during that battle. That Titan is nursed back to health. See Pygmalion stone rules, blah, blah, blah. Okay, nice. Oh, we don't get like a Pygmalion stone to start us off there. That's a shame. But I think in our app here, I think it is tracked. Was it on the cargo page? Yeah, cargo, we have Pygmalion stones. All right, that is going to end everything for day 28. That was definitely a longer in-game day. We're going to now jump to day 29. We'll do a couple more days. Maybe we'll get up to the... We'll probably just take this up to the point of our next battle, either on the timeline or if the burden catches up to us. Back to this page, adventure. Let me pull up the first cataract map, because I think we can... Between this, the two maps that we have, I think we can kind of get an idea for what is going to be on the tiles around us without needing to send out our scout Hemiolia. Actually, well, yeah, I'll put them like this because this is the same orientation as our map now. Oh, also worth pointing out, I think this Kyklopes keep is the first fortress. It's confusing. I'm going to put it like this. Is the first fortress that we drew after winning our last battle, which I believe is this fortress here, which... let's see, that should be the stronghold. I believe on our map is on this tile here. On this map, I think we are just above this tile. So put it in this perspective, I think we are here. And on this map, we're like right about here. We're kind of in the middle of this map. Ideally, what I'd really like to do is start coming back down here and exploring and looping up, and then end up on the end of this story card somewhere in the northern area here, but we can't guarantee that because it's going to be based on the clue cards that we draw. So I'm just going to continue heading east, I think. I have to reorient my own direction because I'm like used to calling that one's north. But let's go east to tile 32. You see any hidden symbols on? I still haven't found any hidden codes yet. A progress symbol on here at least. I don't see anything. Okay. Go there. Do exploration. Let's see if we can clear these out. I guess these would be this orientation now. And we'll get a progress token for our exploration there. Oh, timeline step, sorry. Timeline, Argo, story, progress token, cool. Then we will do our exploration cards. That is 2 fear essence, and I think we are gonna have to gain that danger. Yeah. Danger, 2 danger as a group. Let's just split it up. Let's go 1 to Hypatia, 1 to Olympia. That'll end that pile. Next, we have 2 relief and then gain 1 fate as a group and adversary activation. We can allow the adversary to activate once, it's fine. 2 relief and an adversary activation. Oh, sorry, no. I did that. The fate is what I need to get. Let's give it to Leocoles because he is the only one who doesn't have any fate yet. Don't think we have any expedition symbols to resolve. There we go. Oh, are these bent a little bit? Yeah, just a little bit. I think it's just because it's so dry down here. Okay, did our exploration. What else do we have? We don't have anything else going on today. Okay, yeah, I think we're ready to move on to do I want to try? I could try to do those refugees again, but that's okay. Let's I'd have to gain an Argo fate to go east. Let's go north. So on the next day, we will, the timeline here, mark that off. We will go north to tile 31. Put that here. Check for symbols. We do have a city and an adventure hub. All right, so then let's go place that here. Boom. There. And we already marked off our timeline. We need to do our exploration cards. Gain 1 Titan. We are not friendly with anybody yet. Add a new Titan. Okay, continue drawing. 2 Fear Essence, 2 Danger. Dang, we'll just have everybody start off with 1 Danger. Could try to stack this up and have somebody start with like some nice danger gated abilities, but nah, I don't want to play that game. 2 Fear Essence. And adversary activation. And that pile, next pile. 2, okay, come on. 2 Fear Essence. How many of these cards are in here? That's the wrong thing. I've gotten so many of these. 2 Danger. Let's put both of them on Olympia / Earthshaker, because then she gets her level 2 ability for Minoan Heritage at the start of battle, which could be handy. And these will come out. They get shuffled back in. We have our expeditions. Get to do another adventure. Oh, I forgot to shuffle that card back in. Oh well. Okay. Move this out of the way. Roll our die and then we'll check our table. It's a 5. And story card 2, that means we could do From the Ashes, or we could do the other Thermopyle. Where do we sit with those adventures? From the Ashes, we have nothing. I could do the other Thermopyle and get an Alpha Hub for Leocoles and get a Mnemos. From the Ashes. I could just work on From the Ashes, because once we get to story card 3, we're going to lose access to Consider the Ant, the other Thermopyle, and From the Ashes. So we need to start closing some of these hubs out instead of starting new ones. We'll do From the Ashes. And we'll say 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And let's re-roll on a 10. Re-roll on a 10. It's a 1. Is that cocked? Doesn't matter. It's fine. So we will do Bones of the Past. Curse. Oh, we need to add our newest Argonaut. Leocoles he's going to be red. He gets it 1 in front of his name. And he got the Death Follows Mnemos. Okay, does that look right? Yes. Okay, what do we say it was? Curse, I think. Adventures. Yes. Ooh, Olympia's getting close. So is the Orphan. All right. So we'll go to our story here. Boom. And adventure hubs. From the Ashes, Bones of the Past.
You were not sure what to expect when the runaway slave told you of the massive works under the mountains. a tunneling excavation to expand the Nietzschean's canal network, linking two key strategic waterways to allow the swift movement of his military from one part of Lakonia to another. And then they broke into a vast series of caverns, filled with strange, ages-old ruins. Now, disguised as Helot's slaves, you have infiltrated the works. The crumbling edifices press in close around you, the ancient stonework weighing heavily on your spirits. Pillars etched with strange, unreadable symbols surround you, telling an ancient, unknowable story. Is this what remains of the Lelagis? Moving through the deep tunnels, you try your best to remain unheard. Spartan patrols, both inside and outside the cavernous excavation, are a constant threat.
Each Argonaut tests cunning or wisdom of 8 or more. You may gain 1 fate to add +1. Okay, and the windows here are 0 through 1, 2 through 3, and 4 successes. So ideally we succeed with everybody. Let's check out our bonuses. We said cunning or wisdom. That is unfortunate for Leocules. Wisdom. Oof. Wow. Okay, so both Leocules and the Orphan have no bonus. Hypatia and Olympia, or Olympia has a bonus of 2. Let's just start with her. Oh man, we could get a 3rd fate. 8+, she would need to get 6 or higher. No, let's just try 6 or higher with Olympia. To 1. Fate reroll. No, if I had gained a fate to start, I would have succeeded with her. Dang. And because she failed, she's still going to gain a fate. Dang. Okay. Who had the +1? Hypatia did. Right, cunning or will? Cunning or wisdom? Yeah. Wisdom. Okay, so Hypatia, blue. I guess we'll gain a fate. Go, what? This would be 6 or higher. 1. Oh my gosh. 6. Okay. Now let's go with Leocules. He is just gonna have, he's gonna get 7 or higher here. Boom. 7. Nice. And the Orphan, yeah, we'll gain 1 with you. Need to get 7 as well. Oh my gosh, a 1. Do I really, well, I don't know, it's probably dumb. A 1 again? Oh my gosh, she's gonna be starting this battle with 4 fate. Oh, that's horrible. Oh geez. So that is 2 successes. After some exploration, you come across a work camp, currently empty. You search through the stacked crates and find a wide array of primordial components. Gain 2 chimeric tar or cyclopean metal resources. We will gain cyclopean metal. Then see paragraph 21.
You delve deeper into the ruins, following the growing sounds of activity, until you emerge into a large, open space. Ahead, you see the bulk of the Spartan workforce. They have erected a large machina, powerful chisel-like tools swinging at rock and ruin alike. Atop the roaring contraption, chained cyclopes work the mechanisms with large but careful hands, ideal for moving the gigantic machinery about or clearing detritus. Spartan warriors keep the titanic workforce in line, tugging on chains here, jabbing with a spear there. Glancing around, you see a large iron pen to one side. Within, a dozen or so Cyclopes are contained, staring at the stone floor and their chains with hollow, emotionless eyes.
Option 1. At best, these Cyclopes will remain here doing the heavy lifting for the Spartans. At worst, they could be transformed into creatures you'll have to fight later on. Break the Cyclops slaves out of containment, Cyclops diplomacy +1, subtract 1 Argo fate. Option 2. If you allow the Nietzschean and his forces to complete this construction, they will be able to move ships, warriors, resources across Lakonia far faster, posing a greater threat to you and your allies. Destroy the Machina and collapse the tunnel works, lose 1 humanity, gain 1 progress. Let's go with the option that's not going to cost us humanity. Let's do option 1. I am a little afraid about this giving us refugees, but we are also on a city space. This could be dumb. We're going to break the Cyclops slaves out of containment, and we're going to gain Cyclops diplomacy +1. Subtract 1 Argo fate. That's nice. Then C18.
You order your crew to move out, slowly approaching the slave pen. You tackle and neutralize the guards and shatter the lock on the gate. As you break the chains holding the giant workers in place, an alarm sounds throughout the camp. Enemies are already moving on your position. The Cyclopes and a lone Titan are quick to rouse once you free them. Some of the towering giants break apart a few carts in the work camp, using the wooden boards as shields to protect themselves and your crew. The Spartans close in, and you face a brutal battle as you flee the excavation, the Cyclopes and Titan in tow. Several of your crew fall during your flight. Just as you are leaving the excavation, you spare a final glance backward. You know that the freed workers will be replaced, and the construction will continue. But still, you have liberated many innocents today. A light to stand against the darkness of the Empire. Perhaps it will kindle others.
Gain 1 doom. I don't think I'm going to try to save against that. Just gain it. Then gain 1 Titan. We cannot. And then lose 1 crew. That I will try to save against. So we will gain an Argo fate. Forget how this one works. About to lose crew during the voyage or adventure phase to test diplomacy of 7+. We are now friendly with the Cyclops, and we are on a Cyclops tile. So it'll be 6 or higher. Okay. We gained our Argo fate already. It's a 5. I will gain another Argo fate to reroll that. Oh man. Dang. This is brutal. Down to 2 crew. I'll at least get 1 back, I think, during the advancement phase. Okay, is that it for this story? Yes, return to the voyage phase. All right. We don't have any encounters for today. Then we will do... what do we have? Advancement phase. Let's start with looking at our negotiation. Oh, this is negotiation. We still just have this 1 negotiation gain. So the tile we are on is both Helots and Cyclops. So I guess we can choose to do this with the Cyclops, or the Helots or the Cyclops. I mean, I'm going to choose to do it with the Helots because it'll cost me less Argo fate. So gain 1 Argo Fate, lose 1 Refugee, and gain 1 Humanity and 1 Diplomacy. Okay. Gain 1 Argo Fate, lose 1 Refugee, gain 1 Humanity, and 1 Diplomacy with Helots. Then I could go up to another Argo Fate and try to, what is that? What was that one technology? It's like Diplomacy of 7 or higher, and if we succeed, we convert a, you may lose 1 refugee to gain 1 crew. Yes, I'm going to try that. Six. So we need 6 or higher on this. 8. Yes, finally a good roll. Okay. Lose 1 refugee, gain 1 crew. Feeling a little bit better there. Then we will do a combat research as well. What do we have? We could do metal weapons. I haven't really been crafting much at all here. I think I was going to do the next battle against Cyclops, but actually maybe I'll do it against a level 3 Chimera. Just so I can get the Titan that comes along with that technology. The autopsy, I would need war support equipment and the level 3 battle. Oh, can I just do, what do I need for war support equipment? Okay, so I need to get hyperadrenaline infusion. What does that do? Oh, I mean, that can be good against the burden, actually, for helping trying to escape those fights. Sure, I'll do that. Hyperadrenaline. I will grab that shortly. I might just wrap this video up though. That'll take us through the rest of that day. Yeah, I think I'm just going to end the video here. The next day I'll probably pick up into a combat, but I need to go do some stuff. So I'm just going to call the video at this point. We're making some progress. We found that the Nietzschean supposedly was kind of reborn in this cocoon / chrysalis. And yeah. I will, like I said, I'll probably be doing a battle in the next video. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it against the Chimera or the Cyclonus. If it's the Chimera, maybe I don't film that battle. If it's the Cyclonus, I will. We'll see. But regardless of what the next video is, I hope I will see you in that video. Take care.